that is the kid that he is. He did make it to Yale and do what he did, or was it Harvard? I don't even remember. Whichever,
Yeah, whatever. It was Yale.
It was Yale. Okay, so he did make it to Yale and do what he did, and he met his wife, and he's done what he's done, and he's part of like this entire coalition. But he does not have the cojones to be the next leader of the United States of America. And I say that with a lot of love for JD. But when you saw him in Israel doing what he did, part of the reason is that in order to go from that poor kid in Ohio living with his mama and like his drug-ridden mom to go to Yale, he had to understand that like there was some sort of like cultural appropriations that he had to do, that he had to be part of, even if he was uncomfortable. And maybe that was one of them. But that's why I say he's not going to be the president of the United States next. I don't believe that he's going to be the nominee. That's just my personal opinion. And I love him to death. I really do. But that's just my personal opinion. He just does not have that alpha power to do so.
No, I definitely hear that, Bella. Go ahead, H.
I've been suffering listening to both of you guys. I don't know why your obsession is with Israel and with Jews and everything else like that. Israel is the size of New Jersey. It's a tiny, tiny country. It's independent in 1948, as you guys know. It defeated 6 Arab countries 2 times, 1948, 1967, and again in 1972. I don't understand why you think, wait a second, why you think that this tiny, tiny population of less than 15 million people, which they're like 10 million, because I've been to Israel, which less than 10 million of them live in Israel. Controlling and dominating the whole world. That narrative comes from the Nazis. It comes with the Stürmer. The Stürmer.
No one said they control the whole world.
It's such a horrible, horrible thing.
No, but hey, chick, you gotta argue what we said. You can't argue something we didn't say.
It's such an onslaught. I'm not accusing you personally, King Solomon.
Yeah, because you gotta deal with what was said. You said separation of synagogue and state.
But the thing, like the synagogue or Satan, it depends.
No, it says synagogue and state. So you know how they say separation of church and state?
You can say the church and state, the synagogue and state.
Okay, separation of synagogue and state.
What about Islam and state?
Yeah, Islam is not married to. Okay, our politicians aren't bought and paid by Muslims. Our politicians are bought and paid by AIPAC.
What about Qatar?
Check, are you forgetting about AIPAC?
Just let me land. Wait a second, let me land. What about Qatar?
What about Qatar? I don't like Qatar either.
Qatar. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
They don't call me anti-Qatarian. So why? You see that?
No, but I'm trying to tell you something. Look, there is only one Jewish state in the whole
That's
entire
fine.
planet.
No one said Israel doesn't have the right to exist.
Let it exist. Like, why doesn't it have the right to let it exist?
You gotta. Just work with me.
You're not talking about what King said.
Work with me. You're not dealing with what we're talking about. You're dealing with something else. We're saying as Americans, we have a right to sovereignty. Another nation should not be dictating to our politicians how our country is going to run.
No. I think this is an old anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but that nation's really on your side.
It's an old.
You said no. We don't.
Let me tell you, King Solomon. Let me tell you something. When Israel, Ben-Gurion declared independence of the state of Israel in May 14, 1948, the vast majority of the United States government told him not to recognize the state of Israel. General George Marshall, which did the Marshall Plan, he said no. General Eisenhower, he said no. Let me ask you a question so I know if you're generally honest. Why did President Truman declare the state of Israel, recognize the state of Israel, King Solomon?
I don't know. Why did he recognize it?
Because he realized if he didn't, that the people around the Jewish people in Europe would genocide them. and he overruled all of his commanders. He overruled Eisenhower.
I'm confused. What does that have to do with today, though?
Because I'm telling you, in darkness, you have to stand up for what is true and what is right.
And that's what we're doing. You're not. You can't. Let me just be honest with you. I got to be honest with you. Those arguments for 40 years ago, they don't work anymore. Americans are done. We're sick and tired, bro. We're not going to be run by any other country. You can call us whatever you want to. America is done. Our foreign aid, our money belongs to Americans. No. You can't, Solomon. You can't. No, ATM. You got to listen. You got to listen. Those arguments from 40 years ago don't work. At the end of the day, America is a sovereign nation. We do not have an obligation to fund another country, give our resources to another country when people in our own nation. Hold on, ATA, because it sounds like you don't know what's going on here in America. Americans are suffering, sir. We have our resources going to every other place but here. We have a right to our own fucking resources. And you cannot call it, you can call us whatever the fuck you want to call us. Americans have a right to our own resources. If Israel cannot survive on its own, then it does not deserve to be a nation. If they cannot protect themselves, then they don't deserve to be a nation.
You're forgetting why. Why do you think Why do you think we went into Iraq? Why do you think we went into the Iraq War?
Go ahead, my brother. I couldn't hear you.
Why do you think we went into the Iraq War? Did you forget who claimed?
Sorry.
I'm saying, did you forget who claimed there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq?
You forget, ATX? Who claimed it?
And why we went in there and we didn't find it?
And we didn't find shit, but we spent trillions of dollars.
Hold on. We found stuff, guys.
You asked me a question. No.
You said we found stuff.
Guys, why are we even here? Priorities, guys.
He asked me a question. I want to answer his question. I don't give a shit why America went to Iraq. Saddam Hussein was a son of a bitch that deserved to die and free Kurdistan. I don't care why America went to Iraq. That's my answer.
Okay, a couple things. We can go through this. The reason we went in is because we were told with intelligence that they had weapons of mass destruction. No, they had 100,000 metric tons of yellow cake, which is used to make weapons of mass destruction, and they were working on that. They didn't have it, but yellow cake itself is not good to let them have. Next, they did have weapons they weren't supposed to have, but what pisses me off is those weapons, those chemical weapons that they used, were with the requirements and the agreements. We shouldn't have been going at it alone. Everybody should have been in with us. Why in the world do we sign agreements with these foreign countries, but yet, oh wait, they've got the Scud missiles with chemical warheads on them, and you guys are just letting us do this alone? This is the stuff that pisses me off. Okay,
we should not have gone there.
No, listen. And then we can ask a simple question: is how many people does something have to kill to be considered a weapon of mass destruction? And Saddam Hussein himself was a weapon of mass destruction. Okay, so they had them. They had the chemical warheads. We had an agreement that if they had those, that we were all supposed to go in as a group. And this is what pisses me off about America, is hold their feet to the fire. Say, if you're going in, we're going in. This is the rule. And you're all going with us. If you're not, we're out. Because at that point, we were footing almost damn near all the bill. It's Trump that started making these people start ponying up. And most of them have. And that's just because they were finally told to do it. They need to do it. The threat is at their doorstep, not ours. But yet we're willing to be putting that foot out. Now, I have a lot of issues with the Bushes. Both of them. I think a lot of the corruption started with Bush Sr. in the CIA. I mean, I know it was there back in the Kennedy days, but I'm just telling you that when we went in there was good reasons to go in there. I talked to a person who was a linguist who he was from Iraq. When we went in there and did some good things, but then we left it as a shithole, just like we do everywhere. We go and just leave a disaster, just like we did in Afghanistan. We were laughed at by Russia saying, you guys are going in there. We tried that for 20 years. Good luck. They were right. Because you can't go in and we can't as a country decide that when we're going in, we do what Colin Powell said. If you're going to go to war, you go with a damn big boot and you leave a damn big footprint. You put a boot up their ass and you scare the world. When you don't scare the world, you let them realize we can mess with you. We can fuck with you because you're not going to really paste us. No. You come in just like we just did, and you level the damn nuke system, and they didn't even know what hit them. And then they were like, holy shit. They were championing kill America, death to America in the streets. We didn't hear those chants. We don't hear them as much now because they're like, okay, these guys will kill us. You gotta be able. This country's gotta be able to put that boot in somebody's ass.
Or I think you're forgetting what Netanyahu said during that time. He was the big reason why we went in there. And again, back to what King Solomon was talking about. Are you forgetting AIPAC and the money we keep sending them?
Bro,
when the money needs to stay here?
No, I'll tell you the truth. AIPAC spend less money on politicians last year than the Qatari funding. People like you are so obsessed with Israel, it's ridiculous. The Israeli lobby is not. Israel is not richer than Qatar. You forget this for a vital fucking fact. When anti-Semitism is the oldest form of hatred for a reason. It corrodes the mind. It destroys the soul. It's a fucking disease, anti-Semitism. Because when you start thinking about it,
criticizing the government.
So click this link. Just click this link.
Everything.
Criticizing the government is not. We're not talking about the people. Yes, we are. We're criticizing Israel.
Redrum. Do you believe
we're not talking shit about the people?
No,
of
but
course.
I'm asking you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you believe a state of Israel should exist?
Yes.
Bro. Hey, Chick, are you listening to us?
Sorry, I blanked out. What happened?
I know what you believe. King Solomon, not you, my brother. Redrum, what borders?
I said yes.
The state of Israel exists. What borders?
I don't get why you asked me this question. We didn't argue any borders and why what they shouldn't.
What borders should the state of Israel exist?
Their current borders.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, what? I don't get what your point is. We didn't argue anything about their borders and about their existence. We're talking about Americans. We're talking about the money that is being sent there. What AIPAC influence, which the foreign agencies influence in this country. We're not talking about their existence. We're not talking about their people. Stop the bullshit that this is anti-Semitism and we're criticizing the government.
Bro, it's definitely anti-Semitism.
See how most people Israel is America. It's insane.
Wait a second.
No other country
$1 billion a year.
like this, but you've been brainwashed.